Hi, I just washed my hands so we can go ahead and get started. So I'm Shirley Miller. I'm the graduate student that's going to be working with you today. So can you tell me your name and a little bit about yourself?
My name is Gary Miller. I'm a firefighter EMT with Frederick County Fire and Rescue Department of Virginia.
Okay. Um, so what brings you in today?
I was having some issues with my knee. Had a knee surgery a couple years ago. It's been bothering me.
Um, Thank you for sharing that information with me. Um, it's nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to get to work with you today. So, as your therapist, I'm going to be asking you some questions about your knee issue and the surgery and how it's affecting your daily living routines. Okay.
Okay.
Um, just for an understanding of how I can better help. So, I'm going to be reading and taking some notes. I just want to make sure to get all the details correct just for later report writing. I hope that's okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so before we get started, do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay. All right. So I have some additional questions for clarity. So you mentioned how you had knee surgery. Can you tell me a little bit more just about the concerns with your knee?
I was worried about since I didn't have very good physical therapy that if I had problems going into the future, especially with age and what I do with my job.
Okay, so you mentioned it was a few years ago. How many years ago was your surgery?
Uh, Probably 10, almost 10.
Okay. Um, okay, so what you're saying is you had knee surgery about 10 years ago, and you're just worried about future issues and problems with your knee because of aging and your job, and you didn't have good PT.
Correct.
Okay. Can you tell me what you mean by not having good PT?
So when I had the surgery, I had with this therapy, physical therapy, a couple times a week, and I was supposed to go continue that for a couple months, but never followed up with.
Okay. Okay. What led you to have the knee surgery?
I was playing high school football, and I tore my ACL and meniscus and dislocated my kneecap.
Okay, so tell me how all these issues with your knee that brought you here today are affecting your daily living routines.
I'm just trying to be careful how I step. Um, Make sure I don't take too long of a stride. And I usually use my right leg more than I do my left leg for if I do anything strenuous. That's I usually use my right leg to start off with.
Okay. All right. So what I hear you saying is so how you mentioned how you didn't have the good PT, how you only went a couple of times a week and you were supposed to go for a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You tore your ACL and your meniscus and you dislocated your kneecap playing football.
Yes.
Okay. Um, and now you just have to be careful with how you step and that you don't take too long of a stride. And you favor your right side more than your left. And you start with your right foot instead of your left.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Um, so what can you tell me more about like if you do like take too long of a stride, what happens?
If I start off with my left leg, I feel like more off balance, afraid of my kneecap dislocating again.
Okay. What can you tell me more about your knee dislocation? Like, how's this happened before? How many times? Like, often?
It's just happened the once when I had to have the surgery. But I've been more cautious since then.
So it hasn't dislocated anymore? Just the one time that led to surgery?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so yeah, I'm sure that's really frustrating, but thank you for sharing that with me. So how is your, I guess, your physical agility when it comes to like your work and just when you're like doing everyday activities like around your house or
Um, I would say it's fine.
okay. How long did it take you to, I guess, feel fine like after you had your surgery?
Um, I was on crutches for about a month. Then after that, it was a knee brace for about like 2 months, I would say. So it probably took I'd probably say, probably 8 months to a year before I started feeling 100%.
So would you say that it feels 100% currently?
No, not compared to my right leg. I'd probably say it's about 80%.
All right, so what I hear you saying is, so you feel off balance if you start with your left leg first. You have to be more cautious with that, just because you're afraid of your kneecap dislocating again, but hasn't dislocated again since you've been more cautious since you've had your surgery.
Correct.
Okay. So you said you were in crutches for about a month, knee brace for 2 months, and it took about 8 months to a year to feel better. Okay. And now it's still not 100% compared to your left leg. It's about 80%, you
Yes.
say? Okay. All right. So just to clarify, can you tell me more about the extent of the surgery? Just like what all they did?
So they called it a scope surgery. Um, they make like two little incisions. And I guess they fuse stuff together, but they couldn't do it with just two little holes in them. They had to slice open um, where my knee is, and then go in there and reattach everything. I guess that's the best way to explain it.
Okay, so it ended up being more invasive than what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to summarize some of the things that we went over. So feel free to jump in to add, correct, or elaborate on anything. All right, so you came in for your knee issue because you had surgery about 10 years ago. And because you didn't have good PT, you only went a couple of times a week instead of your supposed couple months. You're just worried about future problems with aging in your job. See, you tore your ACL and your meniscus and dislocated your kneecap playing football. Okay. So now you have to be careful when you step. You can't take too long of a stride. And you favor your right leg. And you start with your right leg first.
Yes.
Okay. And if you start with your left leg first, then you feel like you're off balance and you're just afraid that your kneecap is going to dislocate again. Okay. And it has not dislocated anymore since you had the surgery.
Correct.
All right. So you feel like your right leg is about 80% compared to your left leg. Okay. And your surgery ended up being more invasive than what it was supposed to be. Okay. So tell me what your goals are for yourself regarding your knee concerns that brought you here today.
I guess to get more strength back into that leg, whether it be more therapy or just focus on it's certain leg exercises to let me get strength in that leg 100% compared to my right.
Okay. All right, so based on what we talked about today, we will further discuss just like the results of what we're going to go through and how to address your concerns. Did you have any other questions or anything you'd like to add?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for working with me today.